In today's video, I've got the complete straight mute lineup from Soulo Mute, including their brand new adjustable straight mute. What's going on, everyone? Josh Rzepka here, and welcome to this midweek edition of Mute Monday. If you're new around here, welcome. Mute Monday is a series where I discuss and demonstrate different trumpet mutes so you know what they're all about and what they all sound like. And speaking of mutes, if you are interested in taking your mute game to the next level, click the link below, download my free mute handbook. It is filled with tips and tricks that will help elevate your mute game and make you the mute expert in your trumpet section. Today I'm really very excited. I've got a brand new mute from Soulo. This is the adjustable straight mute. This was just released 1 month ago at the ITG conference in San Antonio. And when I say adjustable straight mute, check this out. This 3D printed piece here, this sleeve that fits over the mute, it allows you to adjust it to be really close to the bell or, more of an opening. And the changes that adjusting this have on the sound, the fullness of sound and the quality and type of sound, it is really quite dramatic. Before we get too far along, a big thank you to Soulo for sending me this adjustable straight mute as well as the all aluminum straight mute. However, this video is not sponsored. They just sent me these mutes so that I could make this comparison video for all of you. Let's check these mutes out up close. As you can see, this mute is made out of a couple different types of material. The top of this mute is actually made out of ABS. The bottom is fiber, and then there is that 3D printed sleeve that kind of fits over it. And as you can see on the inside of that ring, there is some felt, and that allows it to move nice and smoothly, just like the cup portion on their adjustable cup mute, how nice and easy it is to adjust. It's the same with this sleeve and this mute. And of course, this adjustable straight mute, this isn't the first straight mute that Soulo has come out with. They also have an all aluminum straight mute. Let's check this out up close. As you can see, this is beautifully made, really nice. They have a special patented crimpless design where they attach the top and bottom piece, and as you can see, there's a little ring on the bottom that is welded on there, and that allows it to sit nicely without rolling over. And of course, they've got the copper bottom straight mute. Let's check this one out up close. Just such a nice mute. I just love the dual tone with the copper and the aluminum. So you're going to hear a lot of playing examples. I'm doing 5 different variations on this one so you can hear exactly how they sound. Now, this past week, I had the opportunity to speak with Mike Gerose. Mike is the creator. He is the owner of Soulo Mute, and him and his wife, Elena, they build all of these mutes. They put them together by hand. He shared with me the design process and, just some great information, so I'm going to share all of that with you. A lot of people were asking for a mute with less bite and a greater ability to play soft, so he thought to himself, well, what if I built a fiber mute? Then he took it to that next level, and he said, well, I've got a cup mute that's adjustable, and I love the sounds that I can get and the differences in sounds from adjusting. What if I took a similar concept and I applied it to a straight mute? And he came up with this, and it fills that need of having a mute that has the ability to play soft compared to one of these metal mutes, and the ability to have so many different tonal colors because you can adjust how this mute plays. Now, if you're looking at this mute and saying, wait a minute, that inside piece, it really just looks like the cone part of the adjustable cup mute. Well, you'd kind of be right. It's based off that. It's very similar. However, there are some differences. So the similarities are that this top part is made out of ABS. This bottom part and the resonator are made out of fiber. However, the shape of this bottom part here, it's a little bit different. There are some really noticeable differences, including the bottom of this barrel here. It's not flared. The cup mute on the bottom, it kind of, widens, and that is so that, when you're adjusting the cup, that it doesn't fall off the bottom. And when you're taking it in and out, like, you don't just pull the outer part off the, barrel of the mute. This one right here, it doesn't have that. It's not flared to the bottom, so you can actually remove this off the bottom. You don't have to, remove it from the top. So that is one of the big differences. Another difference with this mute, the corks on this, they are a lot shorter. They're about half as tall as on the cup mute, and what that does is it allows this to sit further in the bell. And then when you're adjusting it, this piece right here, it's really kind of coming really close to the edge of the bell. Now, the prototyping and design process of this, Mike told me it was more of an organic process making this mute than it was the scientific process of creating these metal straight mutes. It was a lot of 3D printing, a lot of prototyping, and particularly this piece right here. He printed it in different heights and different thicknesses and different weights. Really, he was just letting his ears guide him. And eventually he came up with this design where it's a little thicker at the top, and this is what allows all of the different adjustments on this mute. Now, as I mentioned, I'm demonstrating this mute in 5 different configurations, and check this out. The first one is going to be really close to the bell. It's about a 1/4 inch away, and then I just progressively move it a little bit, less than a 1/4 inch each time, just a little bit, until I get to about halfway, halfway over the edge of the 2 pieces. And then finally, I do it in the position where it's just not adjusted at all. That top line is basically where those 2 pieces meet, and that should give you a great understanding of just how many different sounds you can get out of this mute. Now, a little bit more information on these 2 straight mutes. Now, of course, the first one released in 2015 at the ITG conference was this copper bottom, and then a year later in 2016 they released the all aluminum version. They've got a patent on these mutes, and it is also the only full hemispherical bottom straight mute that can stand on its own without tipping over or rolling away, because it's got this little piece welded on the bottom. So there's a couple things that really make these unique and different from any other straight mute that's on the market. All right, I think that's enough information about all these mutes. Let's hear how they all sound. All right, so you've just heard these 3 mutes, and what did you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to know what you thought about them, and which one was your favorite. And while you're at it, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? It really makes a very big difference. Starting off with this adjustable straight mute. What did you think about this? Really very cool. There are so many different tonal colors that you can get with this mute. And I've got to say, the playability, the response and articulation and intonation from low to high, this mute, it performs. I've got to say, I really dig this mute. When you put it in really very close, you can get such a nice sound. The construction of this, the way that it's built and the way that it functions, even when you're playing soft, you've got a nice kind of like cushion to blow against, but the articulation is nice. It's crisp. It just dials it back, but it doesn't get too stuffy. It feels really nice. So I really dig that. And of course, as you open it up, the sound changes. I think because of the material that he uses, even as you're getting softer and softer and softer, you're still keeping a degree of brightness and edge to the sound. And to me, that's actually a big positive because it's just going to help with the clarity of the articulation and, the fullness of the sound and the projection and the cut. So if you're playing in an orchestra, if you're playing in a chamber group, a brass quintet, or even solo work, you're going to get that nice soft sound, but it's not going to sound muddy. It's not going to sound too diffused. It's still going to have a point to it, and it's still going to have that clarity. So really nice. I think he really nailed what he was going for, and I'm actually really surprised that I haven't yet seen an adjustable straight mute before up until now, because as you could hear and see, this is really a very effective concept. Now, moving on to these straight mutes, what did you think about the all aluminum one? Now, this one I actually didn't have. This one is a new one for me, and I gotta say, I really like this mute. The balance to it, the feel, the sound, the articulation. I dig the way that this plays, and the clarity of the sound is just really very nice. It's got a nice big full sound, so this is a great ensemble mute. It's got great clarity, and really a great choice to be able to have. Comparing this to the copper bottom, could you hear a lot of a difference? Some people, they don't hear that big of a difference between the aluminum and the copper. A lot of times you get that copper bottom, it's going to be a heavier material on the bottom, so sure, it's going to play and respond and feel a little bit different. Usually it's going to be more energy to the articulation or a little more projection. Some people may say that it's a little darker, but this is a really nice mute. I will say, I think the all aluminum one is actually my preference between the two of these. It's lighter. I just really enjoyed how this played. So it's really great that Soulo Mute, they decided we're not going to just stop with these 2 straight mutes. We're going to keep on innovating. We're going to come up with a new sound, something totally different. And that's what they did with this adjustable straight mute. And I really dig that. And that's one thing that I really like about Soulo. Every couple years, they're coming out with a new mute. They do have a brand new mute bag. I've got that. That's in a future video. So, just some great stuff coming out of Soulo Mute. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit that like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.